Right, so we're still like in the upper third of page Kuf Mem Aleph. Excuse me. The line starts with the word slicha u'mechilim, slicha ve'emin v'duim. Rosh Hashanah, Eden present themselves as sinners. They need forgiveness. This is like supplication. Even tzaddikim who have not sinned and not possible to sin, nonetheless, when they come in the presence of Hashem, they view themselves as sinners. Because how do they compare to approach this greatness? Okay, at the end of that line, and Eden are in a state of Hiserus Tshuva, in a arousal of Tshuva, of repentance, believe Nishbar, with a broken heart, Mamosh. Mamosh means no faking. Their heart is really broken. We will still discuss this phenomenon. They accept, they take upon themselves the yoke of heaven, shlema, total and complete. Bebitul kol asmusam. This yoke is accepted in a manner of bitul kol asmusam, of their total nullification of themselves. They describe themselves as non-entities, and they completely belong and subservient to Malchus Shamayim. Let me discuss this slightly. This is I'm sure you're kind of eluding us. Let us contemplate the following. The world is a divine creation. It does not have any basis for existence on its own. The entire concept, invention of world originates in the divine will. There is not in the world it on its own any sense of its personal being and its personal right for being and purpose of being. Therefore, if at any moment, in any certain circumstances, there's a sense of its own value, that's already a profound lie. If its presence is identified independently in any which way, that's already a profound lie, and it's an affront to the truth. This is where this supplication and this slicha mechila is rooted. The desire to recognize and to identify oneself from that perspective. Totally, that my existence is what you'd identified with, not as I identified myself. This is where the broken heart and the slicha mechila is. Okay, let's continue in this same. Then too, at this stage also, after all the tshuva and all that, there is in mishpat, there is the principle of mishpat, of judgment. Judgment means to judge, is this right? What is it judging at this point? The whole lishpat, and this is to judge as atzmi, to judge himself, mehadvarim hamotarim. From permissible things. When he is partaking from permissible things in the world, he has to judge as to in what way and in what involvement is he engaged in permissible things. The Bezeh Hazmal, because during this period and time of Rosh Hashanah time, what is Rosh Hashanah? Rosh Hashanah time, as the Rebbe explained it, described that this is when the king is present in person, in the presence of the king himself. Present of the king himself, there cannot be any kind of compromises in terms of what am I and what are my interest. Bozeh Hazman, at that period, there has to be his hero excessive care in the other from Dvarim HaMotorim. Because as soon as someone is drawn to Dvarim HaMotorim, permissible things, he is already involved in personal satisfaction. He identifies himself independently of his creator. Already that's already a violation. V'gam, okay, so this is the for mishpat. V'gam, and also inyan ha'hanocha bichlal, the whole principle of hanocha, the whole principle of putting himself aside, hu inyan ha'mishpat, has an element of mishpat, of judgment. Where is that? He judges and he subdues himself in recognition of his own insignificance. Okay, let's continue later. This far we already learned yesterday. Vinyan mashakosov was a mishpat. We said before that HaKadosh Baruch Hu oives mishpat. He loves mishpat. What is it in that he loves mishpat? Yesh loymar. The explanation for that is shezehu, that this refers to, this mishpat refers to pointing mashayesh mailo bipnimi al hamakiv. That there is a maila. Maila means a superiority, an advantage, a higher element. In pnimi over makif. Clearly, this needs to be explained a little bit. Not a little bit, but perhaps a lot. Number one, pnimi and makif. Pnimi means that which is internalized. Makif is the overall, the surrounding environment. For example, in our simple experience of life, you have a home and you have furnishings in the home. Furnishings are very important and significant. But the home is what defines the reality of the whole setup. You have the same furnishings under the open sky, exposed to the elements and without any kind of a containment, and it would lose its significance. The home is what gives it significance. The makif means that which surrounds. Makif is on a higher level than pnimi. It's untainted, so to speak, by the practices and experience. Like we said many times, the shomayim and oretz. The heavens and the earth. The earth is full of contaminants, of impurities and dirt and so forth. The shomayim is always very pure. So you would say that shomayim is much pure, much superior to oretz. So when it says Ohev mishmot, that he loves the mishmot, this is an allusion to a completely different perspective. That in fact there is a milo, there is a superiority of pnimi over the makif. Pnimi means that which is involved on an eternal basis, identified individually, identified with all its details and ramifications. And there is a milo. He loves the mishpat. Mishpat is the pnimi. Mishpat is where you have to pass judgment. There are many different disparate states and interests and involvement. Oyev is a mishpat. He loves a mishpat. This is alluding to the fact that there is a mila, a superiority of pnimi over the makif. This will be very briefly discussed over here, and we'll still have a chance to, as time goes on, to discuss it. In principle, I just want to present it so that we can enter this. In principle, this is similar to let me see, I'm looking for a proper illustration of this. When one is confronted with making choices, or when one is completely above that, he's shown the path straight to the goal. So when you have to make choices, clearly you're involved in controversy. You're involved in negative things. But the power, the resolve to make the proper choice under all circumstances and continue on your path is much more significant than getting there without any challenges. Why is it more significant? Because after you have been challenged and you've made your decision, you've made your choice, then you know the real value of what you've attained, rather than just being there without really identifying and recognizing what it's about. This is the mila of the pnimi over the makif. Makif has no confrontational aspect. Pnimi is in constant confrontation. Every step of the way, you have to experience it. Let us just take a very, very simple demonstration of that. Walking versus sliding in. Say somebody is on a sled or in a car. When you walk, every step that you take, you have to recognize that you have a solid ground where you're standing, and actually establishing solidity in that place. And then you can continue with the next step. And if you did not establish a solidity in this place, you cannot continue in the next place. So by the time you go through the entire terrain and you get to your destination, you've experienced the entire contour, the entire design of this area that you've covered. And you know what it's all about. This is the pnimi. In order to be able to relate to each step and know how to use it and how to go through it and go to the next step, you have to understand and recognize what a step is and where you are and where you're going and how you get to the next step. Although overall you're just going from one place to another place. And this is the pnimi, says this is a mila. Why is it a mila? Superficially, one says it's a mila because the walker has been challenged all the time and he brought out resolve, deeper koiches. But this is not exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about mila. We're talking about mila from a truth perspective, from a divine perspective. So it is not just a personal victory. It is a recognition of a divine truth at every step of the way. This is the pnimi. Let us take a real illustration, a little example. When our people went through the difficulties, Rahman Islam, the Holocaust, or the communists, all the difficulties that they went through, and they survived, and they reestablished their lives thereafter. That stated clearly that under all circumstances never lost sight of what the truth is, of the divine presence is. So throughout the entire journey, they knew what everything is about and who it belongs to. They didn't lose this connection, this sight, under any circumstances. This recognition is superior to seeing a straight line. This recognition, why is it so that under all circumstances it's the same truth? Let's take this step. The reason that it's the same truth under all circumstances is because there is only one truth. There cannot be anything else. Not because I see that truth, but because I know that there is only one truth. So wherever I am, I'm relating to the very same truth. This is the pnimi over the makif. The makif does not have obstructions. The pnimi is full of obstructions. And these obstructions do not confuse the sight of the knowledge of what this is, where this is all from, and what is this strand behind it. This is the makif, the pnimi over the makif. Because the pnimi actually reaches deeper into the divine truth, because it says, whatever it is, it's the same truth. Not only in the Abba state. Let's go into parentheses. V'hainu lefi, and that is because according to what we explained, shehamishpot hu be'esesphiris. That the mishpot is in the esesphiris. In other words, it came out down from the makif into 10 spheres. So then 10 spheres. 10 spheres, each sphere brings and makes its own statement. And this is what the mishpot is. In the esesphiris, one does not lose the spirit of what the spheres represent. And as also known regarding in the principle of milas, the superiority of yesher over yiguli. Everything comes here together. Yesher over yiguli. Yiguli means circles. Yesher means a straight line. I can give it in a nutshell, but it's not. This is just a very broad union. In essence, on the human level, the difference is yosher is how a thing is expressed, let's say in words. Yigulim is how it's perceived in thought. In thought, you can go across a whole concept in a moment. In words, every detail has to be expressed. Every letter is a sound of its own. This is yosher. And there's a mila of yosher over igulim. There's a mila of speech over thought, even though thought is much purer and much higher. But when you express the thought in words, then you've gone through, then you have a different truth surfaced. This is loves the mishpat. Okay, let's continue. This is all very quick. V'inyan shani neisen ma shani oyev, lo zeh shani oyev, and then this is still explaining this medrash. I give to the one what I love to the one that I love. It means Sharidei HaMishpot Sharidei HaMshoch Etzer HaAtzmis. As a result, and by being drawn down, Oir HaAtzmi, the oil, the essential, the oil of the etzem, nimshach memele hapnimi. The pnimi comes along. And this is the union that there is the one that he loves, the pnimi, comes directly from the source of the oil atzmi. V'gam yeshlema hakavona. Then furthermore, the intent in this quote, I give to the one I love, what I love. Where he says that the thing that he loves, he gives to the one that he loves. Hainu, that refers to Mashenitan Yisrael Dafka. The fact that only to Yidden was given koyach zeh, was given this capability, the habitul of this kind of beetle. This beetle, this total self-modification, beyond conceptualization of what is mevatel, how is mevatel, this is a koyach that is given exclusively to Yidden. The etzem is given only to Yidden. The Rashani oyev. V'zehu kanal, and this actually alludes to what we explained, shehanocha gufa hu in hamishpat. That hanocha, the fact that this application, putting yourself on the side, hu in hamishpat, this in fact represents mishpat. Mishpat means, even though it's completely putting himself aside, but he knows what he is doing. This beetle that we said, the beetle that is above, beyond reason, is also a pnimian, which is actually representing hanochas asmusi, putting himself on the side. And where did they have this? Okay, this is the conclusion. Where did they get this ability, the Eden? Because Eden, they're neshamas, and therefore their consciousness is rooted in atzim of Ein Sof, not in the worldly, not in their own experience, but in atzim of Ein Sof. In the essence of Ein Sof, Eden really deep down, they recognize only the truth of their own truth as being unlimited. Of atzim, this madrega yesh b'cholacha v'echad miYisrael. This madrega is present in every individual Yid. Listen to this. Okay, we have to listen to this. It is easy to reach this. It is easy to attain and to connect to that. Yoiser, even more, milho aveda shapitam v'das. Even more than the Aveda, than the labor of Pitam V'das, using one's reasoning. Shein Hakir Shayochem Lazeh. Aveda Shapitam V'das, not all are suited for this. Kihim, only who is suited to Aveda Pitam V'das, only Mi Sheshayach LaHasoga V'Izbeins. Only one who has the ability Hasoga of comprehension, and then contemplation, delving into. There's a deep seichel quality. For this you need great labor and great work. And there are many different madrigas in this. Where the Aved is in one manner, in another manner. So this is something which requires a lot of skill, a lot of capability, and a lot of effort. However, the beetle, this nullification, self-nullification, that is beyond reason, that is in essential truth in every Jewish soul, this is true and is present at all times in every individual person. And thus it is much easier to reach this, to come to this. To total self-application is much easier. Why? Because this is an essential truth in every Jewish soul. That he, in his soul, he knows only of the essence of truth, the Atmas itself, not his personal and worldly experience. And it's an easy thing to attain, because it is there in essence of his soul. Some discovery, isn't it? If you have a couple of minutes, we go into the next section a little bit. V'zehu, and therefore this is the allusion, the posik shaftim v'shaftim tiluchav chosharech. Judges and officers you should establish in all gateways. What are the gateways? Pirish b'shach al ha-Torah, the Shach, in his commentary on the Torah, explains what are these gateways. Shehein chushei ha-nefesh. It refers to the chushei ha-nefesh, the senses of the nefesh. When a person senses. What are these chushim? Kedisha b'sefer Yitzirah. As it says in Sefer Yitzirah, Zayin she'orim b'nefesh. There are 7 gateways in the nefesh. What are the 7 gateways? Beis Einayim, 2 eyes. Beis Oznayim, 2 ears. Beis Nikvi Achetem Hapeh, 2 openings of the breathing of the nose and the mouth.